Hello students, this is your teacher Abhishek and I am preparing this video to help you how to download the software and install them for your microcontroller labs. So if you open your Blackboard and click onto your microcontroller module page, you will end up with this page as you are seeing here. And then if you go and click onto learning materials here, you will see all your course contents here. So for example, this is the folder for your lecture notes. I have created another folder called labs here, and if you click onto this folder, you will find two other folders. So one is for the Silicon Labs tool stick and the other one is for the software downloads. So in this module in the labs, you will use the Silicon Labs tool stick, which is a hardware component that you will be using for your microcontroller labs. So if I click here, you will see that these are the different specifications and instructions sheets for this specific piece of hardware. So if you click here on the handling instruction link, you will see a PDF which will give you all the information about how to handle this hardware. So you have to be very careful on how to handle this hardware. So all this information is given here. You should, for example, avoid directly touching any of the components and so on. And then if you go down, you will see more information about this piece of hardware and how to plug it into your laptops and use it. So I leave it to you to have a look into these, and I will show you. So these are the other specification files and the data sheets, so you can have a look here to know more about this hardware. So these are all the detailed specifications here. Now I will show you how to download the software for this specific hardware so that you can make it run your code. So if you click onto the software download section, you will find these two softwares. So the first one is for your actual software platform where you will be writing your assembly language codes, and the second one is the associated drivers to make your software compatible with the hardware board that you have. So if I click here, so this is called Kyle Microvision 5, so that is the name of the software. If you click here, you will be redirected to this particular link, and if you click download, this particular software will be downloaded in your laptop. So you have to wait for a while. So you see your download will be started if you click save here, and this exe file is getting downloaded. So you should wait for some time. 50% is downloaded. Okay, so we are done, and then we click run, and you just go through the prompts here. You click next, you click agree to all the terms, and then click next again, next. So here my name, my university, and my email is given here. You can write your name here, your first name, last name, name of the university, and your email here, and then click next. And once you click next, the software will be installed in your computer. Okay, so the first part is finished, so I click finish here, and then you go to the Blackboard page again, and the next task is to download this driver software. So I click here, and then you will be redirected to this page again, and if you click download, okay, so I do the same things again. So I save this, and it's saved here, and then I run. I click yes, and the drivers are getting downloaded. I accept the license agreement, click next, I click next again, and here you have to change the name of the folder. It says C:/Kyle, but my original software was installed in a folder named Kyle_5, so I have to change that, Kyle_version5 actually. So make sure you do this step, otherwise there will be an error. I press OK, and then I do next. I check all these options, and then click next again, and then click install. So the driver is finished installing, so I click finish. So now I see, if I minimize this page, you will see that there is a desktop icon created here for Kyle Microvision 5. So now I double click on this, and then your development environment will be open. So this is your workspace, and the first thing you should do is to open a new project. So if you go to the project here, and if you say new Microvision project, and you name your project, so let's say I name it as lab 1, and save. Immediately after this step, you will see a prompt like this, where you have to click for the actual hardware module that you are using from this list. So I click here, and I click on Silicon Labs custom database, because you are using the Silicon Labs hardware. And then if I click here, you will see the list of all of the hardware that's available from Silicon Lab. I go down, and in your case, or in our case, the hardware is C8051F020. So I click here, and I click OK, and you press no here for this particular part. So now we have the project added, and we have a target, we have a source group. Now we do a new file, and a new text file will be created, and all you have to do is to write your code here, and then you have to run it. So for running a code, I will show you an existing file and show you how to run it. So Okay, now let me show you how to open a project. So I showed you how to open a new project and then choose a device, but here I will open an existing project and show you how to run it. So if I go to project here and I click open project, then I'll be going to this particular directory in my laptop. So it all depends on where you have saved your projects. So in my case, my projects are saved in desktop and then a folder called ASM, and then this is the name of my project. So inside that folder I have all these files, so I will just choose this one, which is a Microvision project, and I will click open, and I will see that I have all these assembly language codes that is written here. So I'm going to run this code on the piece of hardware that I have, which is the Silicon Labs hardware. So the first thing I have to do is to go here. So this is called options for target. So on your top panel here, just after the target part, you have a small button like this, which is called options for target. If you click this, then you land up with some dialog boxes. So here I will show you that in the device part you have already selected the device. So this you did when you were trying to open a new project. So this part is done, and then if I go to the target, you make sure that this box which says use on chip XRAM is ticked and not this one. And then I go to the debug part, and here you see that use Silicon Labs C8051F XXX driver is already selected. If it is not selected, then make sure you tick this circle here, and from the drop down menu select the Silicon Labs C8051 drivers, and then you go to the settings of this and make sure that the serial adapter is USB debug adapter. So you have to tick this circle here if it is not ticked. Sometimes this RS232 serial adapter will be ticked, so you have to make sure that you are ticking the USB debug adapter, and then you click OK, and then you go to the utilities part, and in the utilities part make sure that you tick this part, use target driver for flash programming, and you select Silicon Labs from the drop down menu here, and then click on the settings and make sure all these boxes are ticked, and then you click OK, and then you are done. So you click OK. So the main thing here is that you make sure your device is right, your target has the XRAM on chip. In your debug section you have these Silicon Labs driver selected, and in your settings you have this USB debug adapter serial adapter part selected, and in your utilities you have this use target driver for flash programming part selected, and the Silicon Labs driver is selected, and all these boxes are selected in the settings part. So now you click OK, and then you have to click this box which says build. So this is with one arrow compared to the double arrows here which is rebuild. So you have to click this box build, and you see there are no errors and warnings in your code. So this is built, and then you have to click the load part, which will download this code onto your target hardware. So if you click load and you click yes, and then you click OK, so your load part is done, and then you click here which is start/stop debug session. So you click this part and click OK here, and then you land up with this windows. And here if you click run, then your code will be running and your USB device will be reacting according to the code. And I will show you how this is running. So here your code is running, and here you have the software that is running and your hardware is running.